Good evening. I'm Ryder. Coming up, the possibility of renewed U.S. military action in Iraq brings back painful memories for families of Hoosier soldiers.
I'm Cochrun. The president puts jets on standby and gathers international support to brandish America's desert sword.
I'm Alison Gilman. Some Indianapolis high school coaches learn about steroids and how to keep them out of the locker room. I'll have that story coming up in Health Matters. It's all next on NewsCenter 13 tonight.
Live from Indiana's News Channel, this is NewsCenter 13 tonight. With the worldwide resources of NBC and CNN and the entire NewsCenter 13 team. The news starts now.
I don't know if I can handle it again. It was hard the last time.
A Hoosier mother whose sons served in the Gulf War worries tonight their lives could again be on the line. It is called Operation Determined Resolve. That is a military name for a flexed muscle.
American warplanes are on alert and may be on the way to the Persian Gulf in a day or two. It's our top story tonight. This is not Desert Storm Part 2, but it is a message to Saddam Hussein to comply with UN inspection teams or face the consequences. The Stealth and 70 other U.S. warplanes are on military alert to join the 2 aircraft carriers and 100 other fighter bombers already in the Persian Gulf. What happens next is up to Saddam Hussein.
He's not going to question our resolve on this. I mean, he may be testing and probing here and there, but he knows better than to take on the United States of America.
President Bush says he is, in his words, plenty fed up with the shell game Hussein is conducting. Government sources say Hussein has hidden from the UN inspection team vast components of Iraq's $6 billion nuclear weapons program. CIA sources say he moves around precious parts of equipment which comprise his 3 uranium enrichment facilities.
Saddam Hussein is not trustworthy. He will not comply unless he feels pressure to comply. It's my opinion that the pressure will be sufficient, but it's got to be there.
We will have access, hopefully peacefully. But if not peacefully, we will have a military operation.
The fighter jets would provide overhead protection to the UN helicopter teams inspecting Saddam Hussein's arsenal. The Bush administration says it would turn hostile only if Saddam makes the first move. The president, surrounded by the majesty of his Grand Canyon backdrop, says there is no need for alarm among the public or the allies. The United Nations appears to be behind Bush, saying the council has made plans to use warplanes and troops, if necessary, to protect the inspectors. Bush will be at the UN on Monday. Tom.
And the president's warning echoes loudly and clearly through Hoosier households tonight, especially for families with sons and daughters in the armed forces. David McAnally reports.
That it wasn't over with.
The Pentagon hasn't set a specific deadline for Iraq to comply with those ceasefire resolutions.
Tonight's news is cruel deja vu for these relatives of Persian Gulf War vets. Donna Hein's son is on one of the U.S. carriers now in the Gulf. She talked to him today, but didn't mention the new rumors of war.
He has enough to worry about being over there, and I'll just worry for him. You know, I would take his place if they would let me.
To think that we might all have to be here together, holding hands together and praying together that our sons and daughters come back alive again. It just tears my insides up.
While Anna Goodwin's 3 sons fought in the Gulf, she formed the support group MASH, Mothers Against Saddam Hussein. They still meet, still wear yellow ribbons, still support President Bush, even his new threat to use American planes to help inspectors check Iraq's nuclear sites.
It was hard the last time. I've got a lot of friends and a lot of support, just like we did the last time, but I don't know if I can handle it this time.
They blame Saddam.
I think when the Union gave us and our allies the mandate to go over there, that it should have included topple that government. Because he has never done what he said he was going to do.
And I think he's a terrible disease, and I think he needs to be stopped at the toes before he goes to the knee.
But if Saddam does not comply, and if there is war, the yellow ribbons are still ready, and so is the moral support. David McAnally, NewsCenter 13 tonight.
Now to the policy objective. The United States is trying once again to isolate Iraq from the world community. Hudson Institute analyst Jim Wheeler says the United States approach takes 2 forms.
I think that the U.S. has already sought compliance, certainly of Saudi Arabia and some of the other allies. Now we will act unilaterally in the sense that any action will be U.S. forces. I don't think we'll try to go with coalition forces.
Jim Wheeler says Hussein is trying to preserve at least some of the non-conventional military power that he's developed in the past few years. Ann?
Hoosiers responding to our exclusive pulse survey are overwhelmingly in favor of military action to stop Saddam Hussein. 87% favor an attack against Iraq to enforce the UN peace terms if necessary. 13% are against. Approximately 500 people responded in our non-scientific survey.
To a breaking story tonight, police are still on the scene of a drive-by shooting on the Indianapolis near North Side. Jane Harrington is there, and she joins us now with a live update. Jane?
Tom, talking about being live, as you can see behind me is a suspect being arrested in this latest shooting, yet another drive-by shooting. This one at 30th and Capitol, and police suspect a drug dispute may be at the center of this latest incident. Now, at this hour, 25-year-old David Bond is in critical condition at Wishart Hospital. He is shot twice in the back, once in the arm. He was found lying in the street at 30th and Capitol. Police do have the suspect under arrest. Investigators say Anson Smith delivered himself right into their hands by returning to the scene of the crime minutes after the shooting.
Subject stopped here. Apparently he came back around and came northbound on Capitol, which is a southbound street. And I have no idea what he intended on coming back to the scene, but he came back here, Officer Moroff and a homicide detective stopped him, and they said he was reaching under the seat, and they drug him out of the car, and the firearm is located in the vehicle.
Now, Officer Norlock says they found 2 knives and a Chinese throwing star on the suspect that you see behind me. Norlock and other witnesses say they heard the suspect and the victim arguing earlier this evening. That's the situation here at 30th and Capitol. I'm Jane Harrington. Now back to you.
Jane, our thanks to you and your photographer, Doug Blake, for that extraordinary hustle tonight. What may be a first-of-a-kind jury trial is now underway in Indianapolis. The defendant, a Southside man. The victim, an injured canine named Tramp. On the one side is Daniel Roos. He is accused of tying Tramp to the back of his pickup and dragging the dog till near death. Neither he nor his attorney is talking.
I have no comment at this time.
It's improper to say anything at this point.
On the other side, Tramp's owners, Sally and Cameron Wright.
We're hoping for justice, just simple justice. We want everybody to know that if you're going to do a crime, a hideous crime like this in Indiana, that you will be prosecuted for it to the fullest extent of the law.
This may be the first case in Marion County where the victim is a dog, and the dog has a court-appointed victim's advocate.
This is the first case I've ever had where there's been cruelty to an animal that's been brought to this level of attention in the community. And I'm helping Cameron and Sally Wright deal with the stresses of the trial.
The celebrated canine trial continues tomorrow.
Still to come, happy landings for the space shuttle. NASA looks beyond today's completed shuttle mission. We'll have that story.
And then a little later, Pat Carlini previews a new movie about a young man whose dream comes true.
Every day is made of little things we always do. Never once forgetting the reason that we're here is you.
At Walmart, we always greet you at the door. We always try to have what you want. You can always return it. And you'll always find the low price on the brands you trust.
Every day and always, we're here for you.
Who guarantees overnight air delivery on Saturday to more people coast to coast?
Morning. UPS on Saturday?
Who did you think?
Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Dalthorpe, your graphites are here.
Who guarantees overnight air delivery on Saturday to more people coast to coast?
Thank you.
Who did you think?
UPS on Saturday?
Hi again, everyone. Don Hein here, and it's time to set up that big rivalry between IU and Kentucky. We're in Bloomington today, and we'll have that for you on sports.
You want more choices, more for your money. That's McDonald's today, where a regular hamburger is 59 cents, a cheeseburger is 69 cents, and our new chicken fajitas 99 cents. More for your money. That's McDonald's today.
And don't forget the McDonald's service guarantee.
You get hot food and a warm smile, or the next time you come in, the fries are on us. You're going to love the change at McDonald's.
The new 1992 Mercury Grand Marquis. More room than Oldsmobile 98 or Buick Park Avenue. More power than Olds and Buick from a new, more powerful V8 engine. And more value. Grand Marquis is priced $1,700 less than Olds 98. $2,100 less than Park Avenue. New Grand Marquis. See your Lincoln Mercury dealer today for $750 cash or $7.9 financing on 92 Grand Marquis.
First reports indicated another Soviet heart attack, but tonight Boris is better and the Soviets are breathing more easily.
They certainly are. Health matters in the USSR tops tonight's World Matters. The Russian President, Boris Yeltsin, went home early today complaining of chest pains. An aide to the 60-year-old populist leader says the condition is not serious and he should be back at his desk tomorrow. Yeltsin is leading the effort to work out a power-sharing agreement with the central government and the republics. The idea of a heart attack sends chills through the Russian people. An alleged heart problem is what coup plotters said had sidelined President Gorbachev. And
the astronauts of Discovery are getting reacquainted with Earthbound loved ones, while space officials are planning their next heaven-bound move. The 43rd shuttle mission glided to a night landing end at Edwards Air Force Base. NASA and the Pentagon are considering how much to say about the mission 44 planned for November. The Atlantis flight will include the release of a satellite designed to spot an enemy missile attack.
Federal investigators are still on the scene of Tuesday's fatal freight train wreck in northern Indiana. They're not sure if a mechanical problem or human error caused the two trains to collide near Knox. Although the fire and toxic cloud have disappeared, workers continue the tough task of cleaning up the wreckage. While investigators look for clues, the railroad estimates damage at $3 million. Sam?
A South Carolina jury tonight says a Lafayette, Indiana man is guilty of murdering his grandparents and their neighbors. But that same jury says Gary Ryder is mentally ill. It took the jury 3 hours to render the verdict in the trial of the 22-year-old paranoid schizophrenic. Ryder was visiting his grandparents in South Carolina when he stabbed them and their neighbors. Ryder is sentenced to life in prison with parole possible in 20 years.
IPS's stepped-up security program has reached down to the junior high level. Students were checked for weapons during the random surge at junior high school number 47. It is the third day of tougher security measures in Indianapolis public schools. A pocket knife was discovered on one of the junior high buses. Both the principal and several students say they support the stepped-up security program. Later this half hour, we'll look at another concern of school administrators, that of steroids.
Coming up, Alison Gilman shows us a new machine that will help doctors test people for sickle cell anemia. That's Health Matters.
And Bob Gregory has a cool forecast. It's still to come.
After driving around all over town, a little change is gonna do you good. The 10-minute switch puts Quaker State under your hood. My brakes are loose, the change is gonna do you good. Make your car last longer and keep your engine from harm. My brakes are loose, will really add life to your car. Just change it, change it, change it. Change it, baby, change it. Drive on over, baby, the change is gonna do you good.
Pile your plate high with lettuce, all you want, it's more upset it. Celery, peppers, carrots, cheese, super fresh fruit as much as you please. Dough around the end, fill her up, do it again.
Shawnee's Seafood Bar on Friday and Saturday nights is loaded with great baked fish, fried shrimp, boiled shrimp, fried clams, and hush puppies.
It's happening now, in the darkest recesses of your wallet. They're multiplying, out of control. And there's nothing you can do about it until October 1st. Good night.
The Nissan Summer Sales Event was a real knockout. Now it's time for the Nissan Year-End Challenge. Save up to $1,800 with factory-to-dealer incentives on Nissan Stanza. Save hundreds on the award-winning Sentra. And up to $1,200 on Nissan trucks. Think you can find a better deal on a better car? Lots of luck. Take the Nissan Year-End Challenge today! It's our biggest sales event of the year!
Weather watchers across Indiana are members of Bob Gregory's AccuWeather team, which carries the AMS seal of approval.
All of a sudden, it feels as if autumn is here.
Yes, would you believe that our temperature for the month has averaged 10 degrees above normal? Would you believe 7.3? That's a little closer. That's a little closer to truth. He's putting the super here. He's lying. We've had 8 90-degree days, or temperatures of 90 degrees or above for us. And tomorrow we're going to be about 40 degrees cooler than we were 1 week ago at this time. Now, if you weren't a human, I guess it probably wouldn't make much difference. You'd kind of do what these fellows are doing, diving in, because sometimes maybe it really is warmer in the water than it would be laying on a hot rock there. Whatever the case, but we can take our tips that if you have a coat this big, you don't really have to worry about any immediate climate change. These critters enjoy weather around the ice and cold. For us, it's going to feel that way tomorrow. That story right now, it's overcast as we take a look at downtown Indianapolis, 55 degrees. That's our low so far for the day. Our winds out of the northwest at 8. Pressure, that's really building up there, 30.18. Now, as you look at the satellite photograph, you can see the leading edge of where this front has pushed in. And the comma cloud that we talk about, the circulation of this area of low pressure, back behind this, of course, some very chilly air is going to be drawn into our area. Here you can see the storms building throughout the afternoon in the form of thunderstorms and the heavier stuff on up through parts of Virginia and on into Pennsylvania today. What we'll look at overnight, rather chilly temperatures, but this is only the beginning. Many of the numbers generally in the 40s as far as we're concerned. You can see the real cold stuff up here. Tomorrow, most of the day, our temperatures are going to hold on into the 50s. We'll have a strong northwesterly wind, 10 to 20 miles an hour. We may make 60 degrees for a high. These are the numbers that we're expecting with sunshine and a few fair weather clouds coming in. Because of the coldness of the atmosphere aloft, it's not out of the question we could end up with a sprinkle. This will be the position of the front tomorrow, mid-Atlantic coast with showers. High pressure will provide a very cold night. In fact, we're forecasting a record-setting low for us on Friday morning. All of this slips a little bit farther eastward, so the same thing could happen for us on Saturday morning as well. So here's the forecast. Overnight for central Indiana, we'll call it partly cloudy. We'll drop down to 42 before it's all over with. Tomorrow, then, we may have a little sunshine out there. It's one of those days where we have self-destruct sunshine. A little sun comes through, then the clouds cover up again, and it'll be a blustery day and cold. High, maybe 60 degrees. Winds out of the northwest from 10 to 20. Frost likely. We're forecasting a low of 36. That would be a new record for us. Friday and Saturday, sunny but cool. Temperatures will be in the 60s, and then Sunday and Monday we'll start to warm it up just again, and if we get real cold over the weekend, get the freezing anyway. I like to call it a hard freeze before you start beating the tom-tom for Indian summer. So we've still got some mild air coming, but boy, tomorrow it's going to feel like a different season entirely.
That means you're going to have to retreat off to
Bundle
commune
up
with the Indians and come up with your snow predictions.
Well, we're not quite that close yet, but we're getting close. Okay.
How many do you have left?
Huh?
Coming up. Some young athletes say they need a little help.
But an expert warns steroids do much more harm than good.
Alison Gilman's Health Matters still ahead.
Burger King asked some smart shoppers.
What's your way? First you find the bargain. And I pay for it.
Smart shoppers will love this deal. The 99-cent value menu at Burger King.
I sniff them out and take them home.
9 delicious items to choose from for 99 cents each, like a Chris sandwich, double cheeseburger, or a hamburger deluxe.
It's not the bargain, it's the hunt.
Plus, lots of side orders. The 99-cent value menu at Burger King. Your way, right away.
This is how some big stores let you know you can save on some items sometimes. This is how Walmart lets you know you can save on all items all the time. Most stores offer special savings only on these days. Walmart offers savings on these days, too. Walmart. Always the low price on the brands you trust. Always.
Wake up to Chopper 13's bird's eye view of rush hour traffic and news live as it happens across the metro area. Watch NewsCenter 13 Sunrise, beginning at 6 a.m. right after NBC Sunrise at 5:30.
Here at Highland, we're cutting you the best deals ever on all audio, video, appliances, and home office equipment. We're even putting up the competition's ads right in our store. Look at their prices, then look at ours. You'll see who's got the lowest prices. And if by chance you do somehow find a lower price on any item we carry, we'll beat that price on the spot. We guarantee it. Highland, we cut the best deals, period.
A word of appreciation from an RX Watch cardholder.
Recently, I found myself in the emergency room with chest pains. We didn't have my list of prescriptions, but fortunately, the hospital staff called the RX Watch operator, who immediately supplied the patient history they needed. The doctors were impressed, and my wife and I were relieved, to say the least. Thank you literally with all my heart. James B. Cochrun.
Why is RX Watch absolutely free? Because you can't put a price on peace of mind.
In Health Matters, attention to a killer. September is Sickle Cell Awareness Month.
Sickle cell anemia is a genetic blood disorder. It is most common in blacks and people of Mediterranean descent. Alison Gilman joins us now with more.
Tom, the disease gets its name because some of the hemoglobins in the blood are actually shaped like little sickles, and that's what causes a problem in the bloodstream. It's a condition that's often undetected or it's often misdiagnosed. But during this Awareness Month, local healthcare workers are targeting at-risk populations for testing. They're getting lots of help from this new machine that can more specifically define blood irregularities. Routine screening here in Indiana usually catches babies born with sickle cell anemia, but since this is an incurable disease, healthcare workers want to prevent carriers from the gene from unknowingly passing it along.
It's kind of bad to find out in an emergency room this newborn baby that you just had has a disease that's incurable.
Hinkle says babies diagnosed with sickle cell anemia are immediately placed on penicillin since they are especially vulnerable to infection, and in some cases, sickle cell anemia can kill them. A respected expert on steroid abuse is in town tonight. He's talking to about 200 Indianapolis area junior and senior high school coaches. Dr. Dave Pearson is an exercise physiologist at Ball State University in the Performance Laboratory. He says steroid misuse is more of a problem in high schools than in colleges. It affects at least 1.5 million high school athletes that we know about. Dr. Pearson wants coaches and parents to help student athletes avoid the seduction of steroids.
Let's take the pressure off of the athlete ever to try it. So we want to set realistic goals for the student athlete. We want to put a de-emphasis on win at all costs.
Dr. Pearson also wants better strength training programs at local junior and senior high schools. He says that's going to keep kids from going to outside gyms to lift, Tom, and that's where they usually get hooked up with somebody who gets them on steroids.
What kind of thing can parents monitor? What should they look for?
They should look for real sudden weight gain or sudden bulking up in their sons and daughters. Another thing is real violent mood swings. Steroids can really make people temperamental, so if they start flying off the handle unexplainably, then that could be a signal they're using steroids.
It's a very important campaign. Winning need not cost that.
That's right.
All right, Allison, thanks.
And the kids think that it won't affect them. They just don't think
And they're
about
wrong.
the future. Still to come, Don Hein Sports, including a talk with Colts kicker Dean Biasucci.
And then a little later, Pat Carlini previews Living Large, a new movie.
WIBC's $1 Million Sweepstakes is on its way to your mailbox. Watch for it and be part of the easy guaranteed winning every day on 1070 WIBC.
The tried and true is what families go by around here. So at Bob Evans, youngsters can always pick from a menu all their own, everything under $2. And the folks can settle into those new daily dinner specials, all under $6. It's what family values are all about. The way it was is the way it is. Welcome to Bob Evans. Thursdays, stop in after 5 for turkey and dressing.
It's happening now, in the darkest recesses of your wallet. They're multiplying, out of control. And there's nothing you can do about it until October 1st. Good night.
Indiana truck buyers added up. Consumers Digest did and named full-size Chevy the best buy. You will too during your local Chevy dealer's final closeout. Add it up. Chevy discount options up to $21.88. Add it up. Chevy's got 1,000 cash back. Add it up. Chevy or Ford coupon holders cash it in for another 1,000 off. It all adds up to Chevy, but it all comes down to a few days. Add it up. No wonder Chevy is the #1 selling truck and selling fast during the final closeout at your local Chevy dealer.
Coming up later on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson, it's Dabney Coleman.
You look ridiculous, man.
Country great Clint Black. And the Torkelsons' Connie Ray.
My show is NBC, so I get it clear.
Then it's Late Night with David Letterman.
I am the hardest working man in show business.
Johnny and Dave later tonight.
I may be in a rapidly growing minority, but I think the Colts are a fairly decent football team.
They are.
Or have the potential.
Hey, the difference between a good team and a great team is that, and a good team and a lousy team is about that also. Yeah.
Okay.
He believes me, I think.
I think
Here's
so.
what the Colts defense has to look forward to this week. Take a peek. A real tiger who's a lion. Well, you've really translated there. That's Detroit's running back, Barry Sanders, posing with a live lion for Sports Illustrated for Kids. Barry carried it 32 times for 143 yards against Miami last week. Great picture. And right now, the Colts are concerned with having to put Pat Beach on injured reserve. He's gone for a month, and Dean Biasucci's recent lack of success.
37-yard attempt by Dean Biasucci, who hooks it wide to the left.
You know, there's no lonelier feeling than that of a kicker when he misses a give-me field goal. It's enough to make one feel, well, helpless.
Never feel helpless. I've never sunk that far. I mean, I've struggled. I'm human. I struggle just like everybody else struggles. But you've got to maintain a positive attitude, and I think I do that as well as can be expected of me.
Dean is going through a slump, similar to one a batter or golfer goes through. Now, if the Colts were winning, Dean's 2-8 field goal record might not be that big of a deal, but it is. And Ron Meyer feels he deserves part of the blame.
I probably stretch, I should say, a kicker to his length more than any coach in the NFL, simply because I have a great confidence in Dean and I like his leg strength. Therefore, we try 48, 49, 50-yard field goals, and those are tough.
I've been kicking pretty decent in practice. I've just missed some of the games, but that's in the past now. I'll just move forward and, try to do it this week. I will do it this week.
I'm Lee Owens, NewsCenter 13 Sports.
Well, New England can't score either. They figure their problems at quarterback, so veteran Hugh Millen gets the call over Tommy Hodson for this week's Houston game. The Pats have 1 touchdown, same as the Colts. Trivia question, who scored that Colts touchdown? Here's Ronnie with an IU-Kentucky preview.
The Hoosiers are looking to give themselves that needed kick this Saturday as they prepare for the Kentucky Wildcats in a place they call the house.
We really don't like to lose here. We rarely do, and I think, we're going to take that in consideration when we play Kentucky, too.
The Notre Dame nightmares the Hoosiers pass, and now the Kentucky Wildcats are their present, and they must now pay the price of pain, the price that Indiana has suffered in the wake of defeat.
The coach has been talking all this week about the bitter taste we've had in our mouth from the Notre Dame game, and everybody's just waiting to get that taste out of their mouth.
A bitter taste it was, as the Irish virtually ran right through the Hoosiers' defense. And that's something that must be corrected against Kentucky.
Defensively is where I was disappointed. Our tackling was very, very poor, and for us to be a good football team, we're going to have to play much better defense than that.
We've got to come in here and prove to everybody that we can handle the run the way we did last year and just get back to it.
In the Sports Spotlight, Ronnie Duncan, NewsCenter 13 Sports.
And a reminder that the IU-Kentucky game starts at 11:30 this week. That's at 11:30 Saturday in Bloomington. A couple interesting sights from tonight's baseball. Plenty of room in Cleveland to land. Not many fans there. And both Dennis Martinez and catcher Gil Reyes thought this one was a strike. It wasn't. It was a ball. And don't look now, well, maybe just a peek here, but Andrew Dawson of the Cubs is about to go over the 100 RBI mark. That's 99 against the Mets' Frank Viola. Here are the scores from tonight. Magic number 6 for the Pirates. L.A. leads Houston in the 5th. Atlanta leads San Diego in the 8th. Cubs beat the Mets. And San Francisco over Cincinnati, while Philadelphia beat Montreal. You have to hustle along here. Tom Troublehorn has to go to the bathroom. But he has to hang around long enough to see the world's longest single coming off the bat of the Yankees' Matt Noakes. The Yanks took this in 10. And the White Sox taking advantage of Minnesota's 10-4 loss to Kansas City. That's Jack McDowell's strikeout. Ozzie Guillen comes through, the bases loaded single. McDowell wins his 15th complete game. That's the best in the majors. And we're in Boston, where the Red Sox have their rally towels out in full force, and they work. But watch reliever Dan Petrie hustling over to first to cover. He thought he had this out. Jump up and down. Where is it? Oh, he forgot the ball. Toronto leads in the 7th. Boston beat Baltimore. They could be a game and a half out. Cleveland beats Detroit. White Sox win. Yankees win in 10. And California, Texas is postponed. And Adrian Dantley has gone to the Italian League.
He'll do well. Make
See you
some
tomorrow.
money. All right.
Okay.
From the movie Good Morning Vietnam to Dead Poets Society, comedian Robin Williams is becoming a major draw at the box office. Pat Carlini takes a look at his latest film, The Fisher King, in this week's box office report.
Monday morning, and I'm Jack Lucas.
In the new movie The Fisher King, Jeff Bridges plays a high-powered radio shock jock in New York City who takes his power a little too far one day, and his world comes apart.
It was Mr. Lucas's offhand remark that seemed to have fatal impact on Mr. Melnick.
No matter what I have, it feels like I have nothing.
One man whose life is ruined is Perry, played by Robin Williams, a street bum.
I thought that if I could get him this girl that he loves, things would change for me.
The Fisher King opens September 27th. While The Fisher King deals with radio, a new comedy out deals with the world of television. A young man gets his dream job, but then finds it's not all what it's cracked up to be.
This is Dexter Jackson, your man about town.
Living Large stars T.C. Carson as a man who finally gets his big break on TV, but he had no idea of the delights and the troubles that would follow.
That's not me. I'm telling you.
In the meantime, it looks like Halloween at the box office. The movie Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare slashed its way to the top spot with the suspense thriller Dead Again coming in at number 2 on this week's Top 5 movie list. Pat Carlini, NewsCenter 13.
That's all. Thanks for watching.
Stay warm. Sleep well. See you tomorrow.
If our prices are not lower,
we'll pay your first 3 payments,
regardless where they buy.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not.
Blossom's the one. Lord, they're good people.